What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com. I'm a blind film critic, but I also used to be a an American Idol writer. I was a contributor to MJ's Big Blog, and I wrote under Sir Mac. It didn't really make a whole lot of sense for me to use Mac the Movie Guy when talking about American Idol, because then it should be like Mac the American Idol guy. So I just knighted myself and I wrote about American Idol for years. I wrote about So You Think You Can Dance. I did a bunch of live blogs for all of the award shows. I was a paid contributor for MJ's Big Blog. So if you're wondering, like, does he really have like the knowledge of? Yeah, I'm always like tagging, like they were on American Idol, like Alan Richardson and Reacher. Like I remember he was on American Idol. Um, I have quite a depth of knowledge of American Idol, and I this season for some reason pulled me back in wanting to actually comment on it, which I haven't actually done since losing my vision, which is why the reason I stopped. The show doesn't have audio description, so I don't actually know what everybody looks like, which is kind of great because it's my comments are based solely on how the show's been presenting these artists, how they present themselves, their voice. I would say that while I don't get paid to do this, I do get paid to work in the music industry, sort of. I work in music. You don't need to know how much, because it's not why I'm here existing on the channel. So uh, I have thoughts about some things, and coming from the place that basically ever since we've rebooted the show, they have refused to give any constructive feedback for anybody, any contestant, which is part of the reason why they're having such a hard time producing a set of new stars from ABC's American Idol. And I know some people are recording, but we don't have the massive stars like we have created from Fox's American Idol because they weren't really ever tested. Plus, we're also eliminating them at like rapid fire pace because for some reason this show now starts in like mid-February, and we have to eliminate people in the quickest way possible, dropping people without learning anything about them. Hollywood Week is shorter. We drop like 6 people in 1 week, and we're whipping through these eliminations. So old school Idol people benefited from not being eliminated in mass, and us going week to week to week and allowing to see the growth from people from week to week, and also from actual feedback. Even when we lost Simon Cowell, some of those other judges were still giving actual feedback, like actual, like, that wasn't good, instead of listening to a performance where somebody is clearly missing notes and then telling them that that's the most amazing thing they've ever done in their life, which is happening quite frequently on the show. Notably, that awful Defying Gravity cover that we had that everybody just said was amazing, but really lacks any sort of artistic interpretation. It's just breaking down a song and making it different for the purposes of being different, which also Amanda Baris is no longer in the competition. So I don't know that ever really benefited her quite in the way that she would have wanted it to. So let's break down the contestants. Because of the weird thing of how American Idol is, I'm going to break down how I felt about the top 14 and how I felt about the top 12, which will leave us with our top 10, which is where we are coming into next week. So you can get some thoughts and feedback on the contestants and what it is that they sang. Was it good? There used to be a whole bunch of websites. Vote for the Worst, obviously being the worst of them. I kind of think about like who would be the Vote for the Worst contestant this season. I don't know, probably Thunderstorm because of the name. Sometimes they just pick people for ridiculous reasons, especially towards the end when everybody could sing. They just found a reason. They picked the person that they thought American Idol didn't want to have win, but somehow had made it that far. It wasn't always somebody who was necessarily bad. They just sometimes picked, it was just random selections. But the What Not to Sing was also really great. Tool was a actual vocal teacher who was breaking down uh, and tracking, you know, a lot of pedagogical things in how people were singing. So here, we're gonna kind of talk about that a little bit. So I'm looking at who are these people. I truly do not know what these people look like. So in terms of are they cute? Oh my god. What did they wear? Oh my god. I don't know any of that stuff. So I'm just analyzing your vocal performance and how you present yourself, or what kind of artist you seem to want to be, or how the show seems to be promoting you, that kind of thing, and whether or not your song choice makes any sense whatsoever. So top 14 night was Rock and Roll Hall of Fame night, which should have been a slam dunk for a couple people. It wasn't. Uh, so starting at the bottom, in 14th place, who has made the top 10 and has somehow survived. I don't get it. But I don't think he's bad. All my rankings are different. They're not all in the same places. I don't have necessarily a favorite or not a favorite. It all changes up based on each night. So, but for Rock and Roll night, my number 14 is John Foster with Jailhouse Rock, which was an entirely pointless performance that happens in karaoke bars all across this country, if we're being honest, at any given time. Probably simultaneously while he was doing this, somebody was doing Jailhouse Rock drunk in a bar somewhere, and it was probably about as good as John Foster performed it. It didn't really say anything about who he was as an artist. He didn't do anything different with it. He didn't really do anything for the song. He just sang Jailhouse Rock. I wouldn't say it's distinctively country. It certainly didn't use his voice the same way that he keeps using it to kind of, he's trying to do this old sort of like old school country, prime country type thing, which is different than like the new country that Slater's going for. So they're the two country stars. One of them sounds like they recorded 30 years ago, and the other one sounds like they're recording right now. And I just didn't do anything for him. He spent half the song trying to sound like Elvis and half the song trying to push his country voice into Jailhouse Rock. It clashed, and I was kind of hoping they'd send him home, because the show has a really hard time keeping, you know, wild cards. I'm amazed that one made the top 10, because without saving them or anything like that, they've had a really hard time keeping them around. So number 13 it was Desmond with Jesus Loves, the Lionel Richie song that he did, which he took the judges' feedback too literally, and he dialed way back on the one night, man. Desmond, if you end up watching this, if anybody shares this to you, what the WTF? I wouldn't have gone out on stage with that song choice if I was you. I would have, if the producers were like, you're singing this song, I'd have been like, I am. I'm not going out on stage. I actually have a friend, I won't say who because I don't want to out them, but I know how the process works. I've been through it, not as far as these people have, myself, in a particular season of American Idol. So I've made it somewhat into the process, to where I've held at least a golden ticket in my hand before. So I'm aware of like producers and NDAs and the kind of contracts that people sign to get you there. No, I didn't make it to the voting round. I do, however, have a friend who did, and who made it decently far. So I'm quite aware of the shenanigans that they pull when you pick from a list of songs and you say, these are the songs that I want to do, and they pick from that list. Now, granted, that was Fox's version of American Idol. So I don't know how many changes ABC has made to American Idol, but it used to be that you would, for theme nights, you would submit songs, and they would pick from your list. Now, sometimes they might even suggest a song to you and try to pressure you into doing something, which is exactly how my friend got voted off of American Idol. But was by being pressured into doing something. I would not walk out on stage singing these songs, but I'd be like, good luck getting me out there. I guess I'll self-eliminate from the competition and expose that you wouldn't let me sing anything remotely near what I wanted to sing. So, yeah, Desmond's song choice is baffling because he's the rocker who entered the competition as a rocker, and he sang a Lionel Richie tune on Rock and Roll Hall of Fame night when so he had to have had other opportunities. I mean, how could he not have? Why did the rocker sing something that was outside of his genre on Rock and Roll Hall of Fame night? Desmond should have won the night. Desmond should have had the number one performance of the night. I baffling, baffling song choice. And he has a tendency to run off pitch too. If we're being really honest, yes, he has an insanely high voice, but while he's getting there, not all of those notes are in the chord. So he kind of runs out of uh, the structure when he's getting to those notes. You can hear it. We can all hear it. They're not all there. So he got eliminated, and he was in my bottom two, so that made sense. For number 12,
Cap Josh Cap King Cap for grammatical error Cap the Cap longest cap time.
Josh King sang For the Longest Time. It was okay. Like, it didn't do anything for him. I know he's doing this, like, lounge singer thing. It didn't really have any oomph in him. I'm surprised this dude's in the top 10. I mean, both of his performances just kind of showcased weak vocals. I think he's been better, but I actually think he's getting worse as a singer. I think he started out better than this. I'm surprised he's making it through. He must be very cute because I don't see it. I don't hear it in the voice. I have him low on both nights. For the longest time, at least made sense for him somewhat artistically speaking, but it just didn't really do anything. It didn't really showcase vocals, like great vocals. But yeah, anyway, moving up the list.
Cap Amanda misspelled Cap Barris Cap I Cap Can Cap help Cap it.
Amanda Baris, I can't help it. She did this weird Michael Jackson piece. I think the problem with doing Michael Jackson pieces is like there are so many of them, and you pick like one of the deep cuts as they called it. Uh, okay, and she's trying to do like a jazz styling. I just think she got outsung. I think uh, she sang. I didn't like her Defying Gravity. I did like when she sang for her spot in the top 14 when we were cutting from 20 to 14, and she was getting that like wild card spot. I thought her vocal that time was really good, and she sung well before. This one, they hyped it as being this jazz thing and she was going to scat. I don't think she scatted nearly as well or as much as she needed to. It didn't really show what she needed to do to stay in the competition. I would have kept her, obviously, because I have her above three other people. But unfortunately, I did kind of have her kind of low, so I wasn't too surprised that she went home. Moving up the list to number 10 is
Cap Brianna Cap Nix Cap Open Cap Arms.
Brianna Nix for Open Arms. I don't really have. We're starting to get like better. Like I don't have too many problems with Open Arms, except for it didn't really tell me what kind of artist Brianna wanted to be, which is a problem Brianna kind of has following up with uh her next song choice. I don't think Brianna has done a really strong job of showcasing what kind of artist she wants to be at all on the show. She just is a singer, which I don't think is the recipe for winning. She just kind of has song choices and she sings well, and that's fine. I have no idea where she wants to be, what kind of artist she wants to be, where she wants to record. Um, I have not picked that up from her. I don't get a vibe from her of that, which is why I kind of have her low. It has more to do with the sort of she feels like old school Idol, and that sometimes you have people who just come out every week and sing a song, and that's where it kind of becomes karaoke, is when you don't feel like there's any sort of connective tissue between your song choices, and you kind of feel like that you're just here to sing and maybe get through. But what would your album sound like? Last year we had Will. We knew what his album would sound like. Sometimes it's really obvious for people. Alejandro obviously was sticking very close to being an artist. So we've had some people in New Idol that have stuck really close to their guns, but I have no idea what Brianna's doing. Moving up the list,
Cap Maddie Cap Pruitt.
Maddie Pruitt. Uh, I forgot what she sang. She sang like a Joan Jett song or something like that. I thought it was pretty good. She's young and sort of the inexperience and the development in her voice isn't always there for her, and I feel like she's pushing too much. That's the only real note I have for Maddie is that she sort of ends up at the middle of all my lists because I just think there are stronger singers than her this season, and she could have marinated for a year or two before hitting the Idol stage. I think she's talented. I just uh, she's pushing a lot on a 16-year-old voice and trying to do a lot with it, and I'm a little bit worried about her vocal longevity. Moving up the list,
Cap Colby Cap Jordan Cap Your Cap All Cap I Cap
uh,
Grammatical Error
Colby
Cap
Jordan
Cap
for
Get
You're
Cap
All I
Fire.
Need to Get By. I thought this was a solid vocal on a night full of solid vocals. Uh, to be fair, Colby has kind of picked a wheelhouse of artistry that isn't necessarily current. She idolizes Patti LaBelle, which doesn't do a lot to say this is if you let me win the show, my album is going to sound like this. I think Colby has to do a better job of contemporizing herself, making herself feel a little bit more current. And I think her two song choices, while both episodes, I think she sang well. I think the problem that she has is that she feels old fashioned. And I don't think that's the recipe for winning American Idol. So again, I have her sort of like mid pack. Uh, I don't I don't really have too many problems with this performance, except I don't really know what it did for Colby moving forward. I like her a lot. She's got a hell of a lot of personality. She feels like somebody who could be a winner, but the song choices are going to be very important for her moving forward. She I don't know what she's going to sing next week with like women in music or whatever, but I would sing some Lizzo or something. I would get out there and just you gotta sing something that was written in the last like 5 or 10 years and turn it back. You got to turn back the clock. I know these uh these nights are not necessarily leaning and helping you in that favor, but uh, you feel old fashioned. Anyway, moving up.
Cap Thunderstorm Cap I Cap Scene Cap Fire.
Thunderstorm, I've Seen Fire. He sang James Taylor to James Taylor. And yeah, I mean, I realize now that I think Thunderstorm wants to be more and more of a rock singer. He's also got a great soul voice though. So he comes across as this weird like rock soul thing. So it's like a little bit of a rock and R&B blend because he can do the runs, but he's got the grit for rock. He's a really interesting mix of a voice. And so I'm kind of watching him shape himself in terms of song choices and figuring out where he wants to be as an artist. And yeah, I think, I mean, I would have just a little bit more in the voice. It was a very soft song. Obviously, he fixed that the following night. So yeah, but that would be my note. Moving up.
Cap Jamal Cap Roberts Cap Shout.
Jamal Roberts sang the absolute loving hell out of Shout, although I was thinking to myself, how is Shout a song? I think Shout is like Jailhouse Rock, except Jamal made it work for him. It's just one of those songs that you just kind of pick, and it's very kitschy. It's yes, it happened and it was a hit, but it's like doing the Macarena, you know? It's like that was a hit song, but nobody does it because it's. So, yeah, I would say Shout didn't. Uh, I got him lower because of song choice. I think Jamal sings the ever loving hell out of the song, but it's still Shout. There's only just so much you can do with it. So, moving up the list.
Cap Gabby Cap Simone Cap Saving Cap All Cap My Cap.
Gabby Simone with Saving All My Love for You, like the most predictable song choice. Yes, it's overdone, but man, does it feel like it's the right song choice for Gabby, considering the possibilities that she had. She picked a Whitney Houston song. Duh. I think for the vibe that she's putting out of things that we've seen her do before, this absolutely feels right. Yeah, it's not quite as contemporary, but of the things that she could have sung, I think she felt more contemporary than Colby did. So I think Gabby's doing a great job of singing her ass off and maneuvering in a way where she has a shot at it, I would say. I think I can see her being in the finale. Moving up the list.
Cap Slater, Cap Nelly, Cap your Cap song.
Slater, Nally, did his rendition of your song. What was great was he took a song and he flipped it and he made it his own. Uh, I don't know that everybody's gonna love it. Your when you take a song and put his voice on it, he has such a very specific sound. It's kind of why he's not just at the top of my list. Plus, there are just stronger singers than him. He's he's gonna make it as far as the competition allows him to go, because it's always with these very specific genre contestants. Um, do we want a country singer this year or not? Do we want him to win or not? We've had some country singers before. I actually thought Will was going to win last season, um, and then he ended up taking second place. So it's just it just depends on whether or not Slater can go the distance. I If Slater doesn't outlast John Foster at this pace, I would be shocked because I think he's outperforming him. I think his artistry is stronger, and I think we know where he is far more than where we know John Foster, who feels like he's skating by every week. Even the fact that John Foster reminded us that he almost got a no until Carrie asked for a second song. So, I mean, Slater feels like he's firmly in the competition, whereas John feels like he could be eliminated at any given time. So, moving up the list.
Grammatical error, Cap Philo Zero, Cap I Cap get grammatical error, Cap by Cap with Cap a Cap little Cap help.
Oh yeah, Philo with "I Get By with a Little Help from My Friends." I thought this was a great vocal. I mean, he just sang that at the shit out of the song. I'm close to the top of this list, but I thought Philo did really well, and I'm shocked he didn't make it. And I think there would have been more outrage at those results if Ryan hadn't clearly lost track of time and we basically sent Philo home as a shock elimination because he was a platinum ticket holder, and the crowd uh, shouted Philo like after he left the stage when he performed. I don't know. It's surprising, and I was worried about him being in the show because of where he comes from, and America. I kind of knew Che was never going to make it very far because, again, he's not the first British contestant we've had. It is American Idol, and I think people, as cute as people find British boys to be, I don't think they want a British boy to win American Idol. So with Philo coming from, and we eliminated the Canadian. So I think every time we get these sort of like imports, I think they have a ceiling. I don't think they make it to the finale, but I am shocked he didn't make top 10. That surprises me. He sang well enough that I thought he would have at least made the top 10. Um, Blows my mind. Moving up the list.
Cap Canaan, Cap Mary, Cap don't Cap you Cap weep.
Kanan sang Mary Don't We Weep. I'm not going to put him at the top of every single list just because he sings basically the same thing every week. Kanan is not stretching himself at all, but he's absolutely staying in his wheelhouse. He's showing exactly what kind of artist he wants to be. Problem is, he's not challenging himself. I have no idea what he's going to sing next week, but it's probably going to be a female gospel artist. So look for that. And you know, I was waiting for Disney Night because I was thinking Disney Night at least would force him to sing something not gospel. Like he'd have to find something outside of gospel music to sing and make it his own. I'm waiting for him to sing Circle of Life. Basically, he has to sing something else outside of his wheelhouse. Has he ever listened to anything that was not a gospel record before? And then make it show how your voice works outside of gospel. Because while American Idol has produced a ton of gospel artists, um, very few of them have gotten by to win American Idol, and certainly not while performing exclusively gospel. So I think Kanan might be the best singer in the competition, and they seem to want him to win, but I think if he doesn't break out of his mold, I don't know that he can. Uh, I think he needs to take a song and make it gospel instead of taking gospel songs every week. This was basically a gospel song, even though it was Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Let's be honest. And so
Cap J Cap
at
is
the
Cap A Cap Man's Cap World.
top of the list, I actually have Che for It's a Man's World. I did think, in terms of showing who he was as an artist and showing off his vocal potential, that Che actually did that. So he stayed last week, luckily. Unfortunately, that was short lived. But yeah, I did put Che at number one. It was the performance. Yes, it's an easy song because it's such a beautiful song to slay, and he slayed it really well. And I think
Blank.
that
Blank.
ultimately
Cap Gabby Cap Simone.
helped him the
Cap
most.
Maddie. Cap Jock. Blank.
So my rankings for the top 12 night and my thoughts are
Cap Josh Cap King Cap All Grammatical Error Cap by Cap Myself.
my 12th place was Josh King for All by Myself. It really wasn't good. The first part of the song was he keeps cutting off his notes. He was too quiet. I know they're trying to say it was like an emotional performance for him, but I felt like the vocals just were not there to support him being in the competition, to remaining in the competition compared to the people he was up against. I mean, put his vocal against Philo's vocal, and it's obnoxious. This was the worst vocal of the night, easily. It just didn't do anything for him. It was a weird song choice. Everything. There wasn't really anything about this that gelled. I also forgot, I didn't even pick up on who he was paying tribute to. I missed that part. Was it Pia? Didn't she sing this? Pia Toscano? Anyway. Um I think a bunch of people have sung this. He's paying tribute to everybody. Moving up the list.
Cap Maddie Cap Pruitt Cap Kelly Cap Clarkson Cap.
Uh,
Cap of
I
Cap.
put next was Maddie with Kelly Clarkson, Because of You, a song that just dwarfed her. Listen, girl, everybody is aware of what Kelly sounds like, and she's got a great voice. And that's a song. It was really popular, and it's very emotional. And again, you're 16, and nobody expects you to sound like that. But I think the song showed her limitations, showed where she is, and she's again, she feels like she's pushing this voice, that she's making this sound, and I'm really worried about the longevity. They don't have good vocal coaches on the show. Nobody is telling her no. Nobody's telling her she's short term, so they can use her and burn her out. They're not thinking about her. I don't think they think Maddie's going to win the show, so they can tell her, this is exactly how you're supposed to sing. This is exactly how you're supposed to sound. Your vocal cords are very sensitive, and singers who end up producing a lot of breath in their voice and pushing a lot on their vocal cords end up with vocal nodes. And Maddie's very young, and for somebody to not be telling her this stuff, I don't think she's going to have the career longevity that she hopes. So I hope when she exits Idol that she gets tackled by somebody who went to college for vocal pedagogy and immediately tells her, let's work on your voice. Because I think she has a lot of potential, but I'm hearing some stuff that concerns me about her voice. Moving up the list, number 10.
Cap John Cap Foster Cap Carrie Cap Underwood Cap. I Cap told Cap you Cap.
John Foster with I Told You So. It was all right. I mean, it showed more of who he was as an artist, but I also still think he's the lesser of the two country singers. So as long as Slater continues to perform at his level, it's really hard to say that John Foster is performing at the same level. And he does feel like a throwback, so he has to find a way to make himself feel more contemporary. And even singing I Told You So, which is still an older cover that she did with like Randy Travis. You know, I mean, it's not like Randy Travis is the most contemporary artist. I don't think John Foster's doing a great job of showing how he fits current country. You know, where does he fit now? So he'd be doing a lot better by mimicking Luke Bryan. You know, and the sad thing is that there are other country artists like Scotty that he could have paid tribute to, who are a little bit more current and have songs on the radio. But that's neither here. We're moving on. Next up,
Cap Brianna, Cap Nix, Cap Danny, Cap Goki.
number 9, I put Brianna Nix for the Danny Goki song again because I have no idea who Brianna wants to be as an artist. I don't have a problem if she sang a Danny Goki piece. That's fine. I liked Danny more when he was doing country music. I thought the one single that he had as a country artist was good. I liked it. I think people give Danny unfair amounts of shit. Um, yeah, I don't know. Going from Open Arms to this, I don't know. What's she gonna sing next week? I have no idea who she is as an artist, and that's a problem for her winning. Uh, I think she's just making it by every week, but I don't see her making the top 5. So, uh, and at this point, I don't even know how she structures herself moving forward because the only way that she could do it would be to say, well, yeah, I want to be a gospel singer, like everyone else in the competition apparently does this season.
Cap
So,
J, Cap Colin, Cap Stowe, Cap Dancing, Grammatical Error,
uh,
Cap on Cap, my Capone.
next I had Che with a tribute to Colin Style, Dancing on My Own. What a weird artist for Che to pick. I mean, come on. Like, of all the people, really? That's not the artist I would have expected Che. He obviously just wanted to do the song. So it wasn't Che's best performance, but it was fine. Like, it was an okay performance. It just didn't do a lot for him again as an artist. Like, considering the consistency with which he has presented himself before. Um, I think when he entered the competition, he came in with a little bit of a Sam Smith vibe, and now he's moved a little bit away from that. And I, yeah, I'm not too surprised that this performance sent him home compared to everyone else who was there that night. Plus, he's a wild card, and I kind of expected the other 2 wild cards to go home. I'm more surprised that Josh King like survived all by myself. I don't know what you guys are voting for, but yeah, I mean, I like Che. I hope he does well, and I probably would have encouraged him to choose something else that made more sense for him and that was an actual moment. By the way, when we're talking about like vocal performances, these are not idle moments. By the way, I do not remember this performance at all. Like, if you want to talk about an idle moment, like, how about Blake Lewis? Like, who wanted to try to do "You Give Love a Bad Name"? Like, I remember that. That is why Blake was in the finale. Was "You Give Love a Bad Name." You want to pull out tributes? We can pull out some tributes to some performances, um, you know, of things from artists that actually make sense. Let's do Bo Bice doing whipping posts. Let's do, I'm surprised nobody did Ruben because Ruben had a couple song choices that were really good, or Clay doing Solitaire, or I mean, there's so many options. I wanted Colby to do Summertime and like walk up to Fantasia and be like, I love you and I want to do your Summertime. I mean, there's so many other moments. These are not moments. These are just songs sung by other people previously on Idol or by them after they were done on Idol. Anyway,
Cap Slater, Cap Nally. Cap Megan, Cap Danielle's, Cap Angel, Grammatical Error.
Slater did something that Megan Danielle did that was Angels in the outfield, or I don't know. This was like Che's thing where I was just like, this song is whatever, it's fine. I put Slater above Che because I thought it did a little bit more for him as an artist. Like, it made more sense for him to land it as an artist, and he had the story in the background for it and everything. Again, is this really a moment? Did we create a moment here? I don't know. I don't know that the task was actually answered.
Cap Philo, Cap J, Cap Hut, Cap, and Cap I'm Cap Telling.
Philo did, and I'm telling you, he did not hit all of the notes, but he still sang the ever living shit in that song. He missed at least like 3 or 4 notes. I heard it. So unfortunately, I had him sort of like mid pack, but also it's really hard to listen to what Philo put out and not be kind of blown away by the rest of it. I don't know how I feel about guys singing "And I'm Telling You." I mean, this song was written for a specific set of people, and Philo's not one of them. But I think, all things considered, I think he did the best job that he could do with it. Moving up the list.
Cap Thunderstorm, Cap Haley, Cap Reinhardt, Cap House Grammatical Error, Cap of Cap the Cap.
Thunderstorm did House of the Rising Sun, tribute to Haley Reinhart. I was kind of hoping when I heard Haley Reinhart that it was going to be Benny and the Jets. Again, we're going to talk about moments, but yeah, her House of the Rising Sun was good too. This was good for him. And this, to me, revealed more that he wants, obviously, to be the new rocker in the competition, especially after the other one exited. So as long as he stays in that wheelhouse, he will set himself apart. If he tries to go back into the R&B soul thing that he's got going in his voice, he's going to lose because there are like 8 of those people. Like, this is Gospel Idol this season. Like, everybody's trying to be the next. So the way that he stands out right now is by continuing to be the rocker of the season. And I think that's a smart move for him to go. Plus, with the name Thunderstorm, it's like, yeah, you make sense as a rocker. So
Cap Colby, Cap Jordan, Cap
Colby did
Cap over Grammatical
Kat McPhee Over the Rainbow. I guess that was a moment for Kat. Yeah. Certainly more than her original song after after Idol. But yeah, I again, it was she sang the shit out of it. She sang it really well. Like 100 other people have sung this song really well. And Colby just needs to find a way to not make herself feel old-fashioned if she wants to win Idol. I could see Colby making the top 5. I just can't see her in the finale at this point because I don't know who she is or what kind of art or what kind of album she would make. Again, she's kind of like in a karaoke competition right now where she's just singing really well. However, she is, there's some sort of connective tissue to her. It's just all of her connective tissue feels old school. It feels like, what are we doing? What are you trying to do? Why are you here? Where are you in the current music industry? And I think she has a place in the current music industry. I just don't think anybody's telling her where that is. And nobody ever gets any feedback or advice. Everybody's just told that they're amazing. Sometimes people are literally told that they're like once in a generation talent. Luke told Che he was one of the best voices he'd ever heard. Lionel said that about somebody too. I was like, the amount of people that Lionel has heard over his lifetime is insane. When you think about, he made the comment when somebody sang Michael Jackson, and when she sang Michael Jackson earlier in the night, and and about the Michael didn't have those notes. What are you talking about? Like, if Michael didn't, she should be winning the show. It's fucking Michael Jackson. He's like one of the best-selling artists of all time. If you're saying she outsang Michael Jackson, like, no, don't get into Michael Jackson drama. I'm just saying you have to recognize he is one of the best-selling artists of all time, personal feelings aside. So if you're trying to say somebody just outsang him, what are we even doing anymore? So I still remember Simon's comment about like the sunshines and rainbows and everything that he made in season 9 when he was trying to make fun of all of the positive feedback that other people were giving, unnecessary positive feedback. Anyway,
Cap Kanan, Cap Roman, Cap his duet with Cap CC.
Kanan paid tribute to Roman for his duet with Cece. Because of course he did, because it's gospel. So again, yes, Kanan sings the ever-living crap out of everything, but Kanan's just doing Kanan with the least amount of expectation of anything possible. He found like the one gospel song that had been performed in American Idol. I would have, what would have been really fucking cool? It would have been really, I would have gotten Kanan. I know I just used the F word and Kanan just, his head exploded. Do you remember Mandisa? Yeah. She had a very successful career as a gospel artist following Idol, and she's not around anymore. And I had a chance to meet her, and she was a lovely person, very beautiful person, a wonderful soul, very warm person. It would have been so amazing if somebody had just told Kanan, have you ever heard of Mandisa? And then to be able to pay that tribute against Mandisa would have been great, to actually have somebody sing a Mandisa piece instead of paying tribute to Roman, who was eliminated way before the top 5, and this is like a finale duet that he did. Anyway, moving up.
Cap Jamal, Cap Roberts, Cap Heel.
Jamal Roberts with Heal. He sang the hell out of that. It was great. He finally sang something that, again, he's obviously giving Kanan a run for his money uh, in terms of uh, gospel artists. And I thought he did a really good job with it.
Cap Gabby Cap Simone
And
Cap
at the
Elliot
top, I
Cap
have
Yemen Cap. A Cap song grammatical error Cap for Cap you.
Gabby with "Saving All My Love for You," which I thought made sense. And not "Saving All My Love for You." That's what she did the other.
Cap
Um,
Gabby Cap Simone Cap Elliot Cap Yemen Cap.
she did "Song for You."
Cap for Cap you.
Um, it means the song for you. Yeah, I thought she sang the crap out of it, and it was beautiful, and it felt like her own version of it, and she put her own stamp on it, and it's a song that's been done before, but she did her own thing with it. So I have Gabby at number one. So that's what I think about the American Idol contestants. I'll be back next week with more, and they'll be completely rearranged. Maybe John Foster will blow me away. Maybe he'll sing something by a great female artist, and it'll blow me away. Uh, you know, I don't know. I Hope You Dance. It could sound really good on him. So there you go. We'll see. Until then, I'll see you guys on the other side.